Hey you everybody. Ooh, I gotta fix my camera. There we go, let's start again. Hey you everybody, it's Audrey from Audrey Lynn Studios on the west side of Canada near Vancouver. So I have just so I have a GLAZE-A-LONG. This is a test plate. I recently did a video painting irises on test plates using watercolor technique. And I wasn't so happy with the results, but I put it up anyway. This is the second test, and I filmed how I got to this point, so that's what this is about. Now, only some of you are really interested in how I got to that, but that's fine. If it's not for you, then move on. Anyway, so here we go. Okay, this is take 2 of this iris. So this is that graphite paper. And I can't remember where I got this. I think it was a Mako product, but I bought it when I was first starting out in pottery in 2019. So I'm not sure if I can find it. So we're going to put that under our drawing. And there's some yellow here. And yellow here. I'm going to exaggerate those a little bit. And there, and here's the shape of this petal. And that goes into here. Exaggerate this a little bit. Okay, and then some green. I'm not so concerned about the green. It's the iris that I'm not. Oof. Okay, well, I can see that. Yeah, just let me. This one went over here like that. Oh, right, this one went over here like that. This was the yellow part. There we go. Okay, so last time I used gum Arabic, gum solution, I keep saying that. This time, I'm going to take this right from the bottle, no gum solution. I really need to get this thing figured out because these mugs are sitting over my head. So, let's get that. This is Azure. I'm not using Azure. I'm using Ocean. Yeah, I'm using Ocean. And I'm going to use a Sumi brush. Just got to grab it here. And see what we can come up with here. So, wet my brush, shake my Ocean Blue from KIWI, and I am just going to put it straight on there. No watering down this time. It looks pretty dark to me. Okay, and then I'm gonna water it down a bit and paint this one. And then when it comes out of the kiln, we'll see which one looks the way we want. There we go. think it's going to be that one. Okay. There's some yellow here. Okay. The other one, the one we did before, it was just too light. And so I'm trying to use more pigment here. And not using the gum solution, because that seemed to, although the color was gliding on the surface, it also diluted the color. There. Now, just by putting another layer on, it's going to be darker already in the shaded parts, or the parts that I want darker. So, I don't know how this is going to work. We could put a darker blue there, and I still like to do this just for that watercolor sort of look. And also later on, we can take some of this back, like for instance, like this. Because watercolor has disappearing edges, right? So we can just like take it back like that, and that'll help a lot. Okay, so let's just keep going. We can also use a darker blue, like here where we're strengthening the blue color. This is where we're strengthening it. So I put it on fairly strong there, and now I can kind of, what do you call it? Soften the edges, like this. We can use this over here, soften the edges a bit. So I think what I needed was a darker base color from the last time we did it. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, let's do this one outline down to here. Get some nice watery and soften some edges. Yeah. So you want to keep it lighter in here and even create a bit of a divide to keep this petal separate from this petal. This is going to be yellow. Okay. Now this one. Take the out of there and soften those edges a little bit. And then we're going to strengthen this like that. Soften some edges. Okay. So, I wonder, does Kiwi have a darker blue than this? Let's see. I'll be right back. Okay, so what we're using right now is Ocean. That's this. This is Admiral. They're really close, but I think Admiral is a little bit darker. So I think that I will grab some Admiral just to strengthen some of the darker parts. Can't tell. It's really, they're so close. And, you know, just here and there. It's really hard to tell. and I'm just grabbing some water just to soften some edges a little bit. Okay, and then up here, I mean, I can see that it's a little bit different, but soften some edges. Just here and there. I don't want to outline the whole petal. I just want like little parts, dark parts here and there. There. And then here and here. Possibly here. Oh, what am I doing? Take the pigment out so I can soften the edges a little bit. And then here. And then soften the edges a little bit. Okay. This already looks darker than when we did the first test. So this is good. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to call it done. The only thing is I want some vanishing edges. So I'm going to take my sponge and just vanish some edges. Okay, and here. There. I don't like this. There. Okay. And I actually put this away too soon because I just wanted a few more sprinkles. Good. All right. Now here, did I vanish this too much? I think maybe. There. Good. Now, I'm going to use some of this. Oh, right. We used a really thin brush, didn't we? And if we don't have a darker blue, then what we can do is it's going to come to me in just a second here. We can use black with it, just a little bit of black. Admiral. No, I was using Ocean. Nope, this is the dark one. Admiral. With the touch of Kiwi black. Oh, where is it? Okay. That's because I was using it to sign things. Let's see. I just put it in my stroke and coat cart. Okay. Did I shake it? I don't know if I shook it. Looks like I might not have. Okay, so we're going to be using blue with a little bit of black just to make it darker. There we go. And I'm just, because these petals have these lines in them. You might not even be able to see it. We don't have to do all of them. It's just a suggestion. Okay, good enough. Because it's just a test. All right, now we want to choose a yellow. So, last time I used amber. So let's use amber. Okay. Come January, I need some organizational aids. I need to have like a shallow shelf up against the wall that holds all these, so I don't have to go digging for the color. Okay, amber yellow. And we're just going to put that on full strength, one coat right here. Like that. And then full strength at the bottom where it would be stronger. And then last time I also used a little bit of amber brown. It's just kind of in here and a little bit there, in here and a little bit there. Yeah, something like that. Just a little bit here and there. Okay. Oops. Put a little bit of yellow on there. Good. And then why don't we just throw some greens in? I'm kind of wondering if I should lighten it up right in there. I wonder if I could use one of these spongy brushes and just get it really nice and dry and just lighten it up right in here. You know what I mean? And right in here. I might lose my lines, but that's okay. I can put like again, this is just a test. This is test 2. So once I know what I'm doing, then I could lighten up the center and then put my lines in. And so if I take some out, that's no big deal. It's just, I think this is looking better. It is looking better. Nice. Okay, let's go here. We can even take some yellow with the blue, soften up that edge. I think that might be looking better. Okay. And this is where, so actually, you know, like this brush is actually pretty good for vanishing edges as well. Nice. Okay, good. I think that's kind of getting there. I don't know. You never know till it comes out of the kiln, do ya? All right, so I'm just going to go for a couple greens that I used before. It was meadow green and forest green. All right, let's take our meadow green, which is our lighter value, and let's just do this like that. My lines didn't come through. It doesn't matter. Do this. Don't be afraid to spin your work around. Okay. And then the darker one's going to go here. Something like that. Now that we've found our handy dandy little brush here, we can vanish some edges. Man, this brush works like a charm. Oh, I didn't think about that before. Huh, it's awesome. You can even get in there with the edge, like holy. That's fab. Okay. Alrighty. All right. There we go. So I'm just going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and we'll put a couple coats of zinc-free clear on that. Okay, so I'm using Mako's zinc-free clear, and it's not really thick. My biggest fear with clears is putting it on too thick. So, I mean, it's better to put more thinner layers on. So I'm just going to take some out here, give it a little water. If you don't put enough on though, then it doesn't have a nice smooth finish. So let's put that over there. And you don't want to drag your brush, especially after you just finished painting this, because it'll smear your underglaze. So just dab it on first. Okay. Looks good. Oops, looks like I had some glaze in there. Good thing it's just a test. So maybe I'll just take a second and clean out my brush better. All right. Let's let that. Okay, so I put some water here, and I'm gonna, now you can brush it, because you've created a layer between your painting and this coat. So, all right, I just want to make sure I have a little bit of water. I just can't stand that when it gets cloudy. Okay, then I'm going to let this dry, and I'm doing it one more time. All right. So that, a little bit of water. So yeah, more thinner layers works better, for sure. So what I'm going to be doing is throwing this into, not my slow cool, it's going to be going into a cone 6 with an 8-minute hold, because that's the next firing that I'm doing, and I just need to take the chance, and I don't know if it's going to be too hot for this, but I just need to get this done. So I'm going to throw it in with that kiln, and we'll see what happens when it comes out. I like this. I can apply that technique to whatever I paint now. You always have to go through the trial of finding your way, how to get the look that you want. So my friend has, I've got 3 of these mugs that I would like to put irises on, and then I want to put like a lip of a solid color. I don't know, stone denim, or maybe not. Something that matches a little bit. Maybe a green. Maybe I should ask her. She might not be a green girl. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Peace out.